here. You'll knock it with the little hammer to try to break it. And then once it's broken up, we can all have a piece of peppermint candy. But yeah, it's very, very common for certain groups of people. I've never heard of this tradition, but I think it's kind of cool. And by the way, you can buy these online, so I think they're really good. But peppermint pig, it's a new tradition here. So finally, let's get to the festivities. So when I think of Christmas traditions, I think of candlelight services on Christmas Eve. That's something that my family did. It still does to this day, and that's something that I always think of celebrations around Christmas time. Of course, we wouldn't have Christmas without some of our favorite entities, and I saved the best for last year, of course. Santa Claus, right? Yeah, Santa Claus. Now, Santa Claus has changed quite a bit over a period of time. Originally, it's St. Nikolaus. In German, it's St. Nikolaus. He's on the left here with the donkey, with the toys. But there was actually an original St. Nicholas. He was from what's now Turkey, and he was a bishop in the Christian church, of course. And he was a rich man, very generous with his wealth, and he would actually give basically gold to kids in the area that he thought were deserving. And so he would drop it either through their doors. Sometimes he would. I mean, do you think about, there's some traditions here where it goes down the chimney, that sort of thing. But they would also drop into places where, it was kind of hidden, so they would kind of hide these coins in little places where kids could find them, and then they could spend them. St. Nicholas, by the way, is patron saint of both children and sailors. Believe it or not, he's a good luck charm for sailors. I don't know why. I'm sure there's a story behind that. I'm sure he gave money to sailors at some point in his life. But the tradition changes over time. St. Nicholas, of course, is more Catholic, and as you get to more Protestant countries, he changes into kind of a person who kind of walks around and gives kids toys instead of gold, of course. And you start thinking about hiding it in a stocking, putting it in places that kids would find on Christmas morning. Of course, the shoe is always a good place to put it, too. St. Nicholas Day is December 5th, right? 6th, December 6th. And kids, the story goes, you put your shoes out at night, either outside your door or near your door. And in the morning, St. Nicholas would reward you with chocolate, with toys, with all sorts of goodies for you. And this is still a tradition that a lot of people still celebrate today. And the traditions of St. Nicholas, they change over time. Clemency Moore, Coca-Cola, they really changed this idea of Santa Claus. We think of him now as that, the big guy in all red, and he's coming down chimneys, flying in sleighs and that sort of thing. But all of these stories start with this real person. And they are German traditions that we still even celebrate today. And of course, he would also be with Krampus in certain parts of the world. But St. Nicholas was the good aspect in terms of German traditions of this time of year. In addition, this is a great one. This is called the Noche de Rábanos, which is Night of the Radishes. Yeah, it's weird, right? This is from the city of Oaxaca, Mexico, and these are actual radishes. They are basically carving them. It's almost like carving pumpkins. And what they would do, this dates back to Spaniards bringing radishes to them in Mexico. And of course, radishes do really well in hot climates. And so they would grow them, and then people would try to sell them in the market. In order to make them be a little bit more appealing, you could carve them into elaborate shapes. By the way, if you want to type this into Google, look at some sweet objects here they come up with. Octopus, people, mice, cats, you name it. There's a lot of cool things they can do with a radish. And this actually takes place on December 23rd, a few days before Christmas. It's a big market that they had. And it dates back to about 1897. That's when they started the festival. Elaborate carvings. You can see, it's kind of like snowman building if you think about it. They're just making different things in a hot climate. So it's pretty cool. And I'm not sure what they do with all those radishes when they're all done, but I'm sure it's interesting nonetheless. Oh, mummering. Yes, mummering. Yes, if you also want to be terrified, after you're terrified about Krampus, look into mummering. This is a tradition from Canada, actually, and it's from Newfoundland and parts of Canada that's on the east coast. And there's also parts of Ireland that still do this, particularly Fingal, which is more Gaeltacht. This is an interesting festival. People dress up very faceless features, almost like mummies, if you think about it. And what they would do is they would go around the town and you sing songs, you do dances, you tell jokes, you do all this kind of fun stuff. And what the people do when they see you coming to their house, they can either let you in or say, go away. And those people will just start singing louder or knocking on the door louder. Finally, when they let them in, you have to guess who they are based on their performance. If you guess right, they take off their mask and then they join you with a cookie or some other festive dessert. But this is like this big elaborate guessing game. If you guess wrong, then just move on to the next house and cause more trouble. So it's this big festival. It's very common in Newfoundland, and it's really unique. You don't really see this very many places in the world. Almost like Halloween, which is kind of cool. They're dressing up for this event. Of course, where would Christmas be without Boxing Day? Now, believe it or not, I cannot find a single picture about Boxing Day. So I decided to put cats up. And Boxing Day actually has nothing to do with boxing, boxing in terms of that way. It actually has to do with giving gifts to people. So Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. You're giving gifts to workers, actually. It's for people, it was a holiday invented for lords, people that are higher up, to give gifts to their workers. So if you're a maid, if you're a laborer, if you're a whatever, coachman, you get a present on the day after Christmas. So it's pretty cool. If you're a laborer, you get a special gift. And nowadays, everybody gets gifts. It's very common in England, Canada, pretty much anywhere besides the United States. But you're going to see this sort of thing. And I'm sure cats love Boxing Day too because of all the boxes. But yeah, this holiday relates about 1830, so it's not too far away, but it's something that you would do. So it has nothing to do with boxing, it has to do with actual boxes. Of course, the 12 Days of Christmas, where would we be without that lovely song? So first things first, 12 Days of Christmas. The 12 Days of Christmas starts on Christmas Day, and it goes all the way to January 5th. Which is the 12th night. By the way, did anyone remember 12th Night, the Shakespeare play? That's where that play takes place. So, 12 Days of Christmas, you're giving gifts to people after Christmas, right? Keep the party going. By the way, medieval traditions, they have feast days pretty much every day of the week in December, which is great. That's happy holidays, man. There's holidays every single day. And one of the things that's interesting, all these gifts that are mentioned, no one has any idea where all these gift ideas came from. There's all these elaborate stories about, it represents such and such. No, it's just random things that someone wrote the song and said, partridge in a pear tree, that sounds great. 2 doves, that's great. But there really is no reason for the specific objects. The song was written about 1780 as a French song, and we really just have any clue what they mean. I'm sure there's some maybe pagan meaning behind it, but there's really no reason for these objects. By the way, you can check in on the Christmas Price Index, which is they calculate the cost of how much this would cost to buy all these things for someone. And currently, as of 2015, it would cost you $155,407.18 for all the items. So if you got 150 grand, you can buy all these things for someone, but I wouldn't suggest it. That seems like a lot of money. Just stick with the pear tree. All right, so that's it. Do anyone have any questions for anything I talked about? I know I talked about a lot of things, and I'm sorry that, I hope it was interesting for you, but does anyone have anything they would like to share currently about traditions that they celebrate or that sort of thing? Do we want to smash the pig, maybe? We could do that? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So, what we'll do is I will get the pig out here. You guys can start off with us, and then feel free to grab any more food. We got plenty of it. And if you want to share what's your favorite holiday tradition, please come up here on the board, write it down. If you're interested in the presentation tonight and would like to know more information about our programs, we've got a clipboard up here. You can sign up with your email. And then if you're interested in becoming a member, we also have member brochures up here too. So thank you for coming tonight. We really appreciate everything you All right, let's smash this pig. All right.